Well, my needle could be in any case there. Then on the go-ahead and ranch, you ran us. I ran into something.
Yo, I remember both Ranger, and Charles.
Did he work for you, Mr. Edwards?
Dr. Dave. Rick didn't look at nothing to do. I don't usually have work more and more. But this fella come in just about when I need.
Hey, what's up, people?
What's his name?
Told y'all, man, this stuff is getting crazy, man. This stuff is getting crazy with Trump, dude. In the United States, Superior Court is so corrupt. It's not even funny, man. Violating the constitutional rights of birthrights now. Excuse me. Well, now they're saying removing out of the Constitution, which they cannot do, remove all birthrights from people born in the United States. All right? And the United States Superior Court ruled on it 6-3 to get rid of all birthrights. So that means that goes for Trump too and his family. They got to get the fuck out, you know? And it goes for white people too, you know? It goes for everybody, you know? I mean, these fucking judges, United States Superior Court judges are so much on the take, man. It's pathetic to go against the Constitution when you can't go against the Constitution or rewrite the Constitution. 1803, Madison. Marlboro versus Madison. They tried the same thing in 1803 about the Constitution, rewriting the Constitution. The Constitution is the law of the land. No ifs and no buts. It cannot be rewritten, reappealed, or nothing like that. You know, and people don't understand the Constitution is the most powerful document in the world for the United States. You know, from first rights, second rights, all of that. And your rights can never be taken from you whatsoever by no justices, no laws, no nothing. In so many cases in 1803, 1802, 1818, so many, you know. And you got these corrupt United States Superior Justices, man. That's like, the hell with the Constitution. Money is more important, you know. Fame is more important than the Constitution. It is totally insane, dude. I told y'all it's gonna get worse. Told y'all it's gonna get worse. So I got some really messed up news. Friday when I got home about 7:45 p.m. More crazy shit happening to me. Shit that I never expected, you know. But everything they filed in court, I have all the documents to prove that they have committed fraud to the courts. I was up all night and still up working on this motion. They're putting case laws in it, you know. And then I found out something interesting, which I didn't know that right there is against the law. For if any judge, anyone on the bench does this, is ethnically wrong, against the policies, against their rules and their court's regulations, and all of this, man. And they could be removed from the bench for doing this. Did y'all know that under the ethnic rules of courts, judges are not allowed, under no circumstances, judges are not allowed to talk to an attorney without the other attorney's presence. Judges are not allowed to talk about the case or what that attorney wants to do without the other person present whatsoever. And then I was realizing, I said, oh shit, now I remember, that's what happened to me January 13th, 2025, on my escrow account court case, when the attorney for Gold Market Property Management asked the judge ahead of time to dismiss my case, you know? And so then, because I was asking for repairs back in 2024, and they say that I didn't have they was never notified, but they were notified. That's the funny thing about it. They were notified 2024 of August, from July to August. And then I started asking, because the water bill was so high, but it wasn't on the water. It was basically on the sewage, you know, $35 here, $25 there, $60 there, you know, and it was insane. So I had to look it up, and I'm like, oh shit. So what they did on January 13th, 2024, when that judge had a private conversation with their attorney, was totally against the law. Totally against the law, you know? Totally against the law. And the new laws that went into effect January 1st, 2025 by the Attorney General of Minnesota told these people, man, tenants got more rights now, and that's the bottom line. You're not going to go after tenants and keep charging ridiculous fees and all of this on tenants, you know? And that's it. You know, and yet these courts let these people file these bogus retaliation eviction notices on tenants and stuff, man. And I'm looking, I'm like, holy shit, they got thousands and thousands, and a lot of them on evictions are dealing with utility bills. A lot of the evictions are dealing with utility bills, you know? Not rent, utility bills, you know, and then bogus charges and everything from they stealing your money out of your bank. And then you go to your bank, and your bank notify the people that withdraws the money for your rent. The company sends them a straight email, you know, if this money's not back, we'll be filing federal charges on you for wire fraud out of Wells Fargo, out of this person's account, you know, and then you turn around and they turn around and they charge you. This is the funny thing. They steal your money. Then they put it back. You go get a cashier's check or money order. You mail it out to them for the rent. Then they call you and say, why are you mailing stuff to the office? Because I have a right to mail my rent to the office since you want to play games, and I removed them from my account. So then they turn around, Gold Market Property Management, that is ran by Deer Park Management, right? Then they turn around and they get you, they put on their paperwork, return check, $30. Not sufficient funds. I mean, these motherfuckers are so corrupt, man. Deer Park Management, Gold Market Property and Deer Park Management, and so retaliation against us. And some of these judges just don't understand the law. So you got to turn around and put a removal because, you know, first of all, it's a conflict of interest. The judge is biased. No ifs and no buts. The judge was biased, right? So she goes, well, you got 14 days. Listen to what the attorney said, but when I submitted the evidence that they were known about the repairs, and she stopped the repairs behind retaliation, straight up retaliation and hate. The proof is right there. The letter's right there. Look, I'm tired of this retaliation and discrimination and hate that you're putting up on me because I asked for repairs to be done, and I asked for copies of the water bill, the original water bill. I shouldn't have to be paying. My sewage bill is more than the water bill. That's the funny thing. My sewage bill is more than the water bill. This is fucking insane. And the law says you cannot charge tenants for sewage. That's the responsibility of the tenants. The responsibility of the landlord and the property owner, not the tenants. The tenants' responsibility is for how much water they use. I live by myself. There's no reason my water bill should be fucking $40, $80, $70. And I look it up, and it's basically all sewage. I'm not responsible for sewage. Under landlord-tenant rights, under utilities, tenants are not responsible for sewage. Only the water that they use. And how can you tell how much water I'm using? That's impossible. There's no fucking calculations for that whatsoever to know how much a person is using if this is all on different meters, a single meter. It's impossible. That's impossible. You know? I'm so fucking... Man, I think these people just want me to go out and start killing motherfuckers, man. You know, that's just the way I feel, man. This is fucking totally ridiculous, dude. Every time I turn around, man, I'm getting hit with all kinds of shit that I don't even know about, man. You know? And then the funny thing is, you search my residence without a search warrant. You violated my 14th Amendment, my 5th Amendment. You came in my residence and searched my residence. You're extorting money from a disabled, elderly abuse, fraud, extortion. What the fuck is their laws for if you violate them against a tenant? So they saying fuck the attorney generals who put laws in for tenants. They say fuck them. He or she don't got no say to nothing. Oh, I'm so fucking mad, man. Then it's like, come on, man. No eviction can start against a tenant under no circumstances. You cannot evict a tenant for non-payment of utility bills. You have to work out a thing with the tenant. But yet, when a tenant says, bam, look, this is the law. You cannot keep charging me for sewage. That's what the law says in the state of Minnesota. Sewage is the responsibility of the landlord and the property owner. The sewage bill is they're responsible, not the tenants. You know? Not the tenants. And so then they write that, oh, check this out. On October 7th, went to Wells Fargo Bank, right? Wells Fargo sent their company that takes the money out, okay? Right there, 10-7, right there, 10-7, all right? Went there, and you got to do this thing when you want to remove them off your account to have authority to get into your account, right? So I did. So it marks here, what's the purpose of removing this company? For fraud, abuse of my account, and wire fraud of $1,043 and change, okay? Now, in the investigation that Wells Fargo did was that, yes, it was fraud, wire fraud into my account. You had no authority to get that money out. I never approved that, authorized, no pre-authorization or nothing. The only thing that was in my account that was pre-authorized, approved by me, was $996. Nothing else for the rent. That was one thing I put on a statement. This is the only thing that comes out. Only thing. $996. Only thing. Get the alert. I'm like, what? 1,000. No, I never proved that. Rushed down to Wells Fargo. Did the stop on it. They contacted them. This money's not back in this man's account at this time and this date. Then Wells Fargo will be seeking prosecution charges against your company. Wire fraud, identity fraud, the works. Got the same letter that they did, the investigation did. The same fucking letter. I'm not playing with these people to steal my money and shit. No, I'm tired of this shit, right? Before this, everything was okay until they stopped 2024, where they took out the 1,000 and change, right? I had to put down $958.99. Then I was told I had to pay the whole month's rent. So I did that, which I thought that was weird, but I was in a hurry to get a place. So I didn't think about it. So I had to pay the whole month's rent of $900. Excuse me. I had to pay the whole month's rent when I moved in on 7/29/2024. On 7/26, they called me down to the office, got the recording and everything still. And I had to put down $958.99. They made me go to this place to wire it out. Then I had to turn around and put down the rent on the 7/29, which was with the tax and fees came up to $958.99. I had to put that down for the whole month of July's rent, which was out weird because I'm like, well, wait a minute, why am I paying the whole month's rent of $900 and something when I moved in here on 7/29/2024? What the fuck? Then I had to give out $200. They wanted cash. Well, she got cash for one. And then I had to do another one because I only had cash the day on me. So I ran to the bank. And that's when the bank manager said, no, don't give them cash. I know all about these people, man. Don't give them cash. Because they'll come up with, they'll give you a receipt later. Because I had a friend that went through the same problem with that property management agency, man. Don't give them cash. We'll give you a cashier's check for them. I said, okay. So got it a cashier's check. And it says right there to pay to them. And that was a holding fee. $240 was a holding fee. My application fee, what was so ironic was my application fee was $40. And so then I turned around, gave them cash for the $40. They said, I'll get a receipt with all of the paperwork, but I never got a receipt with all of the paperwork, which was weird. And I kept asking for that receipt for $40. And then they said that they needed $240 for the holding fee. I've never heard of no shit like that. And because you looked at the apartment, these motherfuckers are corrupt, man. But I got the cashier's check, right? So in August, well, in July 7, 2029, that's when I started to, the next day, I started getting things moved in. Took me 3 weeks. 3 weeks to move in. I had to pay this guy close to $1,000 to move from one place to another place because he had a truck and he was at a Fairboat. Then I had to buy him dinner and lunch because we was moving all real late, man, because he had a job and stuff. So we was moving late, you know, and it took me 3 weeks, you know, things to get into my car where I didn't need a truck, you know. So I had to pay him, had to take cash out and pay him that, you know, and had to pay for his gas and everything. And I'm like, so I spent over $2,000 in gas, finding a place, back and forth and shit. And these prior attorneys are responsible for that shit. I don't give a damn, man. You know, you force people out, man. You're supposed to be responsible for this shit, man, you know? And then the door, I had the door get fixed because the previous tenant kicked in the door. They found out. We find out and stuff. And you had to lift the door to shut it. But when you lift the door, the whole fucking frame moved. Door frame moved. The guy came and he fixed the door and everything. And I said, well, what about the sink and the tub? Because you couldn't run the tub at all without it leaking real bad in the sink, right? So they got that. That's why I put that in escrow, the written escrow, because I wanted this shit fixed, man. You know, you get tired when you ask and ask and ask. And then you get the retaliation where she stopped all repairs and stuff. So anyway, I put the stuff in escrow. Then her boss calls and says this. She called the courts. And the court said there was nothing ever in escrow. When their own attorney was there that they hired, you know, lied to the courts, telling the courts, you know, that they was never aware of the repairs. So went to the clerk's office. I said, Yana, there was known about the repairs. Here's copies of the letters I sent and text messages I sent to this number, and they responded back. So they was responsible for these repairs and known about these repairs that I've been asking for. That's all I asked for. A peaceful place to live with no discrimination, no hate. Rent's paid on time. That's all I asked for, you know? And that's what I've been doing until you started with this retaliation and hate, you know? And the funny thing about it is you Mexican, how can you hate us? How can you have so much hate against me and violate the laws? Because this is a legal right that I have to ask for these repairs to be done, and you come after me. I don't get these motherfuckers out here, man. My old time school, where I used to be, I could have just said, fuck it, bam, bam, you know, started killing every fucking body. But for what? But then yet these courts make you want to do that because these courts, some of these judges are so fucking racist up there, man, and do not follow the laws. The ethnic rule laws are nothing. You wasn't supposed to be talking to their attorney without me present. Point blank. This is what that attorney said. Well, you know, Yana, what we discussed it earlier, we're just going to dismiss this. We want it dismissed. Those are the words that came out of this motherfucker's mouth to the judge. And the judge says, yeah, you're right. I'm going to dismiss this on the grounds that they wasn't notified to do the repairs. See, this is the way I feel. There shouldn't be no 14 days for nobody to do no fucking repairs. None whatsoever. You making millions and millions of dollars. Repairs should be done within 24 hours. Period. Period. Or 72 hours. Period. That's what it should be done. Within 72 hours. Period. These motherfuckers are so corrupt in the system where they get kickbacks from these management companies. You know? It's fucking insane, dude. It's just like with the United States Superior Court justices. Follow the money. You'll follow the money trail. So much corruption, man. So much corruption. So anybody that had a baby now is not considered a United States citizen. Yes, it's not considered under them removing that from the Constitution. You can't remove nothing from the Constitution. The forefathers already put that down there. So that goes for everyone, from presidents, Congress, Republicans, Democrats, senators, governors, mayors, pigs, cops, sheriff, deputy, judges. That goes for everyone. It's fucking insane, man. You got the devil you put in office, a praised sex predator you put in office. You got a sex predator that you worship. And these idiots, what's so funny is some of these Spanish idiots, well, he's good for the economy. You's about a goddamn fool. You don't know shit what you talking about. The motherfucker has bankrupted every business he ever took over. Every business he ever took over, he bankrupt. He made people homeless, jobless. Man, the enemy is within the state. Your enemy is within your government. That's the enemy. Your government. Your government is the biggest traitor, treason, conspiracy, murder, genocide. Is your own government. Is your own government. Now, it says right here, January 1st, 2025, a landlord cannot pursue evictions on tenants because of utility bills. Utility bills have to be separated from rent. Period. No ifs and no buts. Utility bills have to be separated from rent. That's the law. That's the law. So you filing an eviction notice behind utility bills, which is against the law in the state of Minnesota, by the Attorney General. I don't even know who the Attorney General is, but what the Attorney General should be doing to all of these companies is finding them millions and millions of dollars for breaking the laws to teach these motherfuckers a lesson, because they are committing extortion. They're saying, fuck what you laws that you put in there and signed as laws for tenants. We don't give a fuck about your laws. We're going to do what we want to do. Then I find out something interesting. So I'm looking up Gold Market Property Management. I'm saying, wait a minute. They're licensed in California. So they got to have a license in Minnesota, but I couldn't pull it up, man. I couldn't. We did all of the research, so I don't know what name that they're going under to run this property here. But the property is owned by Gold Market Property Management. But we cannot find a realtor license for them to do business in the state of Minnesota. So it must be under some kind of other way, because we couldn't find a license. We couldn't find a business license. We could not find a business, and they can't use another business license for another building to have attached to that. They can't do that. You know, they can't do that. You know, I mean, it's fucking kind of weird. We looked and looked and looked. Said, wait a minute, they don't got a license in the state of Minnesota to run any business. We looked all over. We could not find it, man. Could not find a business license to run an apartment complex. We could not find it unless it's under a different name, man, on a different agency, you know, and it's fucking insane, man. It's fucking insane. You know, these motherfuckers, man, are crooks, dude. You try to live peaceful. You mind your business. Because you got a Spanish person that hates you and her boss is white, she commits perjury on a phone call where I called, and there's no such thing that you filed this escrow account. Went to court on it. They got the results. The attorney talked to the judge, which is in violation of ethnic rules and regulations, because she can get fired for that, and she should. Okay? Because she wasn't supposed to talk to the attorney and make that biased decision because I was fighting for my legal rights and behind your race. So yes, the judge was biased and everything else, you know. Anything that judge do, you have a right to an appeal, and I will appeal a decision because of bias, hate, and the judge did not follow the law, and she violated the ethnic rules. Okay, she violated the ethnic rules. Okay, and it says right here, under the scope of the law of ethnic rules, judges cannot have a private conversation with the other party's attorney without them present, period. That violates ethnic rules and also violates the party that's trying to get what they want, okay? If you know any judge that has violated this ethnic rule, there is serious actions against that judge or magistrate. No judge, no magistrate or justice can communicate and have a private communication or talk with that party's attorney without the other party there. Now, January 13th, 2024, right even before I got there, the judge was already talking to their attorney. They said that on recording. When he goes, well, Your Honor, what we talked about, I want to just go ahead and dismiss this, And the judge says, okay, you're right, okay. When they were notified and everything else about getting the repairs done. Now, they were all notified about getting the repairs done. They were all notified. And you turn around, you play this shit with me, and the judge kisses your ass? Wow, that's fucking hilarious, dude. That is fucking so wrong, man. So when I came across that, I'm like, yeah, this is the violation right here against the judge, man. The judge did violate this because they said in court, the attorney goes in court, well, we talked about, Your Honor, about dismissing it. And the judge goes, yes. Hold on. Let me grab my phone for a minute. Hold on.
If you put on a fresh dress when you change this in that trash container, that's any blood on it? Of course. Blood was deep, as clean you. Can you get that dressing out and check it for blood type? I waited a couple of days for this, Doc. You can wait a few more minutes.
Now check this out. This is the dirty shit that they play. Okay? This is dirty shit that they play. This went to Deer Park Management, 12/31/2024. Okay? 12/31/2024. Encloses the rent for $985 for February 3rd, 2025. I will no longer pay for no renter's insurance. It do not help me whatsoever. Okay? I looked up Deer Park Management and Gold Property Management. I contacted the insurance office, the inspector insurance office in the state of Minnesota, found out that Gold Market Property Management nor Deer Park Management has a license to sell, distribute, solicit insurance whatsoever to tenants. So everything on your lease is violation of Minnesota state laws and insurance laws. You are not an insurance company to force any tenants whatsoever to buy your renter's insurance. that is not only a scam, but extortion. When you force tenants to buy renter's insurance. I have my car insurance and my car got renter's insurance. I don't need to give you that information. You know? Now they got this for February. Because January's rent was in escrow. All right? Sent them out a cashier's check, money order, whatever it was. Sent it to them. Then I also put in there that you're also in violation of my privacy and my rights by having my apartment searched by the Hutchinson police. Okay? You have my apartment searched by the Hutchinson police. You told me that. Neighbors seen them going in there, search my place with you and stuff. Got statements from neighbors and everything else, you know, blank. All right? Okay? I already paid 3 water bills, one for 40, one for 50. All right? And it's the funny thing. The water bill I got for the month of July, this is what really pissed me off more than anything, and this is why I started questioning shit. How am I getting a water bill for the month of July, from July 1st to July 31st, when I took possession of this apartment on July 29th, 2024? I even asked about that. Why are you sending me a water bill when I just moved here July 29th? Her response was, well, whoever moves in is also responsible for the previous tenants' bills. And I put on there, no, I'm not. Even in the text message, I'm not responsible for previous tenants' bills or damages whatsoever. I'll leave this place. I'm taking pictures, recordings of what was there, what wasn't there, and everything else. So, because I know how dirty these motherfuckers are when they don't want to give you your money back. So I take, the blinds were always filthy. You could see the new ones that they had to put in because they were broken. So I don't give a fuck about the blinds, you know. I have nothing up against the walls. I don't believe in nothing up against the walls. Nothing. It's always out. Always out, you know. So I'll be taking a video and pictures of every fucking thing. I'll be putting my certain marks down where I took pictures at, and I know it's my place, you know. And I already got those marked and stuff, you know. So anyway, this was sent to her, right? And it was a cashier, it was a money order that was sent out to them for the water bill. That's not my problem if you're not getting it. That's not my problem. I sent it out, you know. Now, in Minnesota, under the laws in Minnesota, you cannot keep charging a tenant processing fee of $50, $60, $70 every month for the bills that you making off the computer. Okay? You cannot keep doing that shit. This fucking is a racket, dude. It's a fucking racket. Now, check this out. This went out to Utilities Hutchinson. Hutchinson Utilities, August 22nd, 2024. First of all, you're going to tell me how you got my Social Security number. I've never gave you my Social Security number. Because I refused to give you my Social Security number, you told me I had to put down $185. This went on August 22nd, 2024. This letter went out to them, certified mail, got the copy, got the green card back from them, okay, and the post office. Everything I sent to Deer Park Management got my green card back, all right? Ordered a signature for them, all right? You had no right to do a credit check on me whatsoever. You had no right to even have my identity, my Social Security identity. That is identity, that's Social Security identity theft. And I will be taking legal action. I never gave you the authority or my Social Security number. Now, who gave you my Social Security number and how did you get it? The city of Hutchinson's insurance company calls me and says to me, what are the damages? The damages is Social Security identity theft. That's the damage. I never gave them my Social Security number. That's the damage. And I'm going after the person whose name is on the paperwork too. That's the damage. You just stole my social security number. I want to know who gave it to you. That's what I want to know. Now, this is from the insurance company, Hutchison Insurance Company, for Hutchison utility bills. So I'm arguing with the guy, and I'm telling the guy straight up, look, I don't give a fuck what you say. That's identity theft, dude. That's social security identity theft. They don't got a goddamn thing in writing for me whatsoever, or my position, or my permission to run any credit check or anything like that. That's identity fucking theft, dude. By a computer, that's a federal offense. A fucking federal offense. I stopped talking to the insurance company guy, man. I was tired, dude. I was tired. Now, this goes to Gold Market Property Management. You have committed identity theft, bank fraud on my account for taking out $1,043.95 when the rent is only due of $996. You have hacked into my account without my permission. You have stolen my money without authorization, and I want my money back. Bank investigated it. They contacted them, put the money back, or we go into federal court. Point blank, put the money back. You stole this man's money, wire fraud, the works. The bank wasn't bullshitting with them, man. Bank was not bullshitting with and I thank them so much, man. So the money goes back into the account on the 9th. Now, if anybody remember, that was a holiday weekend. Okay, just like when I had no heat, that was a holiday weekend, and I didn't realize it because I don't believe in holidays. I'm not married no more, so days are days to me, man. You know, I had no weekend, no heat from the 27th to the 30th of November. They give you this number to call, but nobody's there. It goes out of state. The number went to New York, New Jersey, California, Chicago, and then it went overseas, you know, and they keep giving you the same number to call. They're not responsible for that. They're under our umbrella, but they're not responsible for that repairs. You got to call this number. It was fucking crazy, man. Then I got sick again because you cannot run electrical stove for heat for days. You cannot do that. Those fumes from those metal bars, man, get to you, man. You cannot do that, man. You cannot do that, you know. But they fixed the heat on the 30th, you know, because I didn't know who to contact no more, you know, until I saw the neighbor. The neighbor came and brought me. It was a holiday that month. It was in November. So I saw my neighbor, and they gave me a piece of pie that their mom made. It was pretty good. It was really nice. So then they go, damn, Kelly, why is it so cold in here? I have no heat, man. I got the stove on, you know. So he said, no, they stepped out because they was coughing. And I've been coughing ever since the stove. I had left the stove on to get heat and stuff, you know, because it was freezing that day. It was really, really cold those days, man. It was freezing in November. But it went out November 27th that night, you know, and it fucking like I was freezing my ass off. So she gives me the number, and it's the guy that put my door up. So I text, I said, look, man, I have no heat. This is apartment such and such, 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 such. I need this heat fixed now. I had no heat since the 27th, you know, and then I've been calling these numbers, but they keep sending me out of state and overseas, you know. That's what it did, you know. So then he contacted the guy, Ozzy. He texts me back, says, I just told Ozzy. Ozzy will be there this morning. Okay, good. So when he come, I'm freezing, man. I got the stove on. He sees the stove on and stuff. He fixed the thing and stuff. You know, everything was cool, you know. Everything was cool. Cut the stove off, you know, and it was freezing in here, man, you know. And the judge ignored everything when I brought up to the courts, the judge ignored everything, even where it says that I wanted half of my rent back because they not only committed perjury to the courts, but they were known about these repairs. And then she had my residence searched. That came out of her mouth, and my place was searched. The neighbors saw the police here that day and everything, you know. And then when I sent the letter to the chief of police, they say no. But neighbors asked me, why was there police in your apartment and stuff? So who's lying? You know? Who's lying? You know? So they got everything, and the money was put back, and then they try to say insufficient funds. And then they try to hit me with a check fee. Yeah, that's how corrupt these motherfuckers are. When they put the money back into my account, okay, I moved them from my account for the fraud that they have committed on my bank account because I never gave them authorization for that whatsoever. So they was completely removed off of my checking account, period. Went down to Wells Fargo, had them removed. And they tried to come up with all of this bullshit fraud to the courts to make me look bad. But I got everything in writing and the letters and copies that I sent out to these motherfuckers. Got Wells Fargo investigation report where I had them removed, took the money out, got them a cashier's check, sent out a cashier's check. They kept sending it back and forth to me. Return to sender, return to sender, return to sender, return to sender. Then they called me. They opened up the mail now. This is a funny thing. They take the mail, the yellow envelope. They opened it up, read everything there, copied everything. Okay. Oh, this man is serious, man. He coming at us. What should we do? Oh, don't worry about it. We could do conspiracy shit like we do to all of the tenants. Don't worry about it. We go market property management. We can commit conspiracy and file false documents on tenants. Don't worry about that. We got plenty of judges in our pockets. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Let him have his proof. Don't worry. We can destroy that. Don't worry about that. We could lie to the judge. Judges believe us anyway. They don't believe these fucking tenants. And they race and all of that. And if they veterans or disabled or elderly, fuck them. Look, all I want done right here, you know, is we rent the place out for that year. So we got a year tenant, kick them the fuck out, make more money by taking them to court, charging them bogus fees for damage to the apartment. We'll always win. Don't worry about that. Okay. Don't worry about that. That's what we pay the attorneys for, to lie, to file bogus claims. Don't worry about that. You know, it's funny how corrupt these motherfuckers are, man. Wait a minute. I got another one for you. Where the fuck is it? Now, this is the letter I sent to the police chief of Hutchinson, Minnesota. Okay. Right there. Sent to the police chief of Hutchinson, Minnesota. 9/30. Sent it out to them. Certified mail. All right. Got the card back and everything. Got a letter back from the chief of the Hutchinson police chief. You know. Excuse me. Now, mind you, this is a hate crime that she's doing to me, and retaliation and discrimination. It's straight a hate crime, dude. And abusing the elderly. All right, by financial gain. That's what this is. Abusing the elderly, financial gain too. Excuse me. So anyway, 9/3, I came to my residence, right? 9/3, I came to my place was fucking. It was wild, dude. It was everything was open. The cabinets, the drawers, every fucking thing was gone through, you know. And then she come knocks on the door as she's coming in. She got the key. So I heard the door, go to the door. I'm like, what the fuck? Knocks on the door. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? And it comes out of her mouth is these exact words. 9/3, 2024 at 8:45 a.m. Just got here, 8:45 a.m. Just got dropped off. Okay, walked in my door at 8:45 a.m. So she got spies watching my apartment. You know, the white people across there and stuff and all of this shit, man, you know. So anyway, I hear something at the door and I'm standing here. I'm like, what the fuck happened in here, man? Who went through all of my shit, dude? What the fuck? I'm hot, man. I'm hot. So I hear the door. And just when I hear a key in it, you know, I grab the door and I open it. And it's her. I had your apartment searched by the police. I called my friends up at the police department of Hutchinson Police. I had your place searched. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. I was hot, man. You have no fucking right to have my place searched, man. Who the fuck are you? I was hot, man. I was right then and there. I had so much. You violated my constitutional rights, man. You violated my privacy. You entered my residence without a notice. Who the fuck? I was hot, man. I was hot. I was fucking hot, man. And then she got her phone on taking pictures inside my apartment and shit. I was fucking hot, dude. I was pissed, man. So I sent the letter out to the police chief, you know, and they sent me a response back, which I don't think they investigated it whatsoever because the tenants were saying, yeah, the police was in your place, man, with her, you know. So I don't think I think they didn't give a fuck, you know. And I told the police chief that I'm looking to file in federal court my constitution violation rights, illegal search and seize. My place was searched. Oh my Lord, man. I was fucking pissed, man. It took me days, man. When the nurse came, she couldn't believe it. Then when the lady comes that helps me, she couldn't believe it. So they helped me slowly to get to the place because they only give them so much time to help me and stuff, you know. And it was crazy. Under the Constitution, you had no right, no legal right. You had no federal court order. You had no state court order. You had no court order whatsoever. You never left a business card. You never left no explanation on why the police searched my residence whatsoever. You violated my fucking constitutional rights. Search and seize. And I don't know what you took, what you put in here, or nothing, you know? Now, that went out on 9/30/2024, okay? All right. Got a letter back from the police chief. Dated October 14th, 2024. This letter classified that a search has been made of the files by the Hutchinson Police Services. The search was, they couldn't find no details of the search of my residence or the date and time of birth and address of you, Mr. Melillo. There's no records or body cam of this search that ever took place at your residence. Cindy Block, right there, chief of police, right there, from Hutchinson, Minnesota. They couldn't find no evidence of the search whatsoever. So, if the tenants are saying they seen them in my residence with her, and they moved out, and we've been in contact with each other. You know, they message me, how you doing, man? Kelly, how you doing, man? You know, and then So everyone in here is lying. Even the cleaning lady was lying, you know. But you have no records that my residence was searched, but everybody saw the police cars here. We did our investigation. You know, everybody saw the police cars here, you know. So who was lying? You know, who was lying? The results of this search, no records were found based on the above search information whatsoever by our officers. But everybody's saying, yeah, they was here. They seen it. So that was one thing I did. I did my resource, my investigation first. You know? Now I don't know this police because I never came in contact with these motherfuckers, man. Never came in contact with them. You know? But then when I contacted them, when I sent them out this letter, see, they thought I didn't know this. You know? I'm gonna share something with you. Okay, your officers are violating my constitutional rights, even the state of Minnesota. You had no right whatsoever. Like, see, they thought I didn't know this. You know, this is why I put it in the letter, let them know I know this. Okay? You had no right whatsoever when I never came in contact with your police officers under no circumstances whatsoever to run my name and information through the NIBRS and to the UCR. That is not only in violation of abuse of power, but it was an unlawful act by your officers to run my information when I never came in contact with these police officers in Hutchinson, Minnesota. So how did they get my name, date of birth, and everything else? How? See, people don't understand. Anytime you come in contact, your shit is ran. But when you got people that knows this and call you, and you don't know what the fuck they talking about because you know you didn't break no laws. So what the fuck are you running my information through NIBRS and the UCR for? Why are you running my information when I've never been in contact with your police? How did you get my social security number? You ran that. I don't understand these people, man. They just constantly lie. And these fucking judges, man, let them do their conspiracy and lie. See, one thing that's good is that I got a right to an appeal. That's my fucking right to an appeal on any fucking court's decision. I have a right to an appeal. I have a right for damages. It's funny, man, how and then I come home, man, and I find this fucking shit on my door. And I was shocked, man. I was shocked. And then somebody said, well, yeah, this fucking old man, he the one that put it on there, man, Callie. I'm like, what? You know? And stated, oh, you know about it. I didn't know a motherfucking thing about this. This is shocking to me. You know? I'm going back and forth to my doctor's appointments, man. I'm fighting with Social Security office, dude. You know, matter of fact, I even called them. I called them and I said to them, because left a message at the Deer Park office, got the time and the date that I called, right? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Apparently, with all of this going around, it looks like we're going to be having problems with veterans pay and disability pay. So I'm at the Social Security office. Been at the Social Security office every other day, dude. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? You know? And so then called them and said, well, The rent will get paid. This agency is going to pay the rent for me. So don't worry about it. The rent will be paid. And the agency contacted them that day, the same day, you know, both agencies contacted them the same day, you know, and the rent was paid. And you're coming after me saying the rent wasn't paid, but I got proof that it was paid. They gave me documentation. They gave me documentation who they spoke with, what office number they called, you know? And they come up and they file this bogus. I'm so fucking. And my lease ends on 8/31. 8/31. You extort money. You abuse an elderly. Financial abuse. Financial fraud. Illegally search my residence. Retaliation behind all I asked for what the law says I have a right to. You violate the laws that the Attorney General put in there for tenants' rights from 2024 to 2025, or January 1st, 2025. I'm being charged for water and electricity that the other room is using. We get charged for the electricity of the lights that are being used outside. It's fucking wild, dude. It's fucking wild. You know? And here, you know, this is the funny thing. September, look, why y'all refuse? Why did y'all not take out the rent for September? Okay? Got a text message right there. Don't play games with my rent. Right there. To that text message right there. All right? Okay? Do not play games with my rent. Look, all this retaliation and hate and discrimination has to stop. All I wanted was things to be fixed. You stopped all repairs. You stopped all repairs to be made done in my apartment behind retaliation and hate, because all I asked for was a copy of the original bills of the water bill. Right there, August 21st, 2024. Right there, August 21st, 2024. And they said they was never notified. They literally said they was never notified. And I proved to the courts that they were notified, August 21st. Stop the retaliation, stop the hate. All I asked for is repairs to be done, but you stopped all repairs behind hate and retaliation. You stopped all repairs. Then you get mad at me when I put shit in escrow? And then you lie to this fucking judge and the judge believes it? Where the judge had a conversation earlier with the attorney? Admits on records? And this is the funny thing. I called the courts. I want copies of the records of this date, January 13th, 2025. I need copies of the recordings and everything. Clerk says, well, I can't, I got to go through this. I got to go through that. I got to go through this. I got to go through that. So in other words, you don't have them. No, we don't. Got you. Okay. Sent it out again. Another one, December 12th. I sent you a request by the state laws of the state of Minnesota, 504B 211. I have a right to ask for copies of the original bill of water and electric. Again, I'm asking again. The last time I said, fuck it. That was December 12th, 2024. You keep giving me excuses and lies and giving me printouts that has nothing to do with what I'm asking for. I said, fuck it. Fuck it. I put everything in escrow. Fuck it. Do not play games with my rent. September 4th. They didn't take the rent out when they were supposed to. Then we get a text message saying that the service is down. Where the place where they take the rent out, the service is down, right? Now this one's gonna get you funny, man, right? This would be. Wait a minute, I gotta show this one first. Okay, right there, 7/26/2024. Gold Market Property Manager made a payment of $958.99. I had to send them $958.99. Then I was told I had to pay the whole month's rent of July. The whole month's rent of July. July 7/31/2024, $958.99. Because I got a call. It says, oh no, you got to pay the rent for July. I got a call. So they gave me the information who to wire it to. Done it. Payment rent for July 31st, 2024. Because I was told I had to pay the whole month's rent for July. That blew my mind. I'm like, what? Caught me off guard. Literally caught me off guard. I said, well, look, I'm on the road right now. Can you just give me the information? So they sent me the information to my phone. My buddy was driving. You know, I had to hit Walmart and send them out for the month of July. I never knew they can do that. I never knew that they can commit that much fraud and wire fraud and extortion to people until that day. Never knew that. Okay? So I had to give them the $958.99 on 7/31/2024. Then I had to pay the rent for August, which was $990, which was $955 or $996 because I got the garage then. Yeah, I got the garage. So it came up to $996. Yeah. Laundering money. Wire fraud. So then they put on this paper that they sent to the courts, which is so ironic, is they say that 3 days, month of July, rent for July was $82, $92. No, it wasn't. You made me pay $958.99 for the whole month of July. What the fuck you talking about? Then you made me put down a security deposit. You made me put down the first month's rent and security deposit. What the fuck are you talking about? I was just like, man, I just need this place, man. You know, as soon as possible. I couldn't. It was fucking wild, man. It was fucking wild. Now y'all saw the text messages. Y'all saw the receipts on my phone. You know, yeah. Wait a minute. Something right here. You know, but these judges don't do that. Wait a minute. The law says this here. That's either one or the other. You cannot charge both. But also in the law says everything that they paid into, they get back 100%. Yes. Yes, when you file a false eviction and a malicious eviction on a tenant and retaliation of eviction for no basis by law, and even if the eviction goes, you still have to give them back all of their money. Period. That's what the law says. So they don't give a fuck about what the law says. And these judges do not follow the law. These judges do not follow. Some of these judges, I got to say, some of these judges, I saw this one good-ass judge, man, I wish I could get in front of, man. He went, oh, man, this fucking judge went off on this fucking, I was reading the case, man. This judge went off in Minnesota on this fucking rental company, man. So wait a minute, this lady's been there for all of these years. You've been trying to kick her out because she's disabled and a vet. They have rights. They enjoy living by themselves. So I'm not going to violate their constitutional rights and their beliefs, but you forcing them out. You stop repairs. You know, I mean, that fucking attorney, that judge there, man, hit those motherfuckers so hard with violation of the Constitution, violation of civil codes, violation. because he couldn't do really nothing about the Constitution until the attorney said something. And then that's when I think that the judge just had enough with these motherfuckers, man. And if you look up Gold Market Property Management, and we looked them up, and you look up Deer Park Management, do you know how many falsified lawsuits they file on tenants? It's over in the thousands, dude. It's in the fucking thousands. You pay rent there, because that was the first place I looked at. They had a swimming pool, and that was pretty good. That was good for my leg and stuff, right? Or you can't use the pool. They got a pool table. You can't use the pool table. But you're being charged for those extras. But you can't use it, you know? And everybody don't like her. She had problems with everybody over there, you know? And it's wild, man. It's fucking wild. The lawsuits they file on tenants, man, because she don't like them, and retaliation, man, them motherfuckers need to be put out of business, man. You know, they need to be put the fuck out of business. Don't have no license to run. But we could not find a license for them to run this. We looked. I don't know if it's under a different name or what, but my buddy comes back today from vacation, and I'm going to tell him to take a deep look on these people, man. I need everything on these people, man. When you need it, I need it in 24 hours. I need everything on these people. I need everything on everybody, man, right now. I need everything on everybody, dude. I said, all right, man, boss. Take care of it. I said, all right. You know, I come back Sunday. Me and the wife's out on vacation. I said, okay, don't worry about it. But as soon as you get back, man, as soon as you touch down, man, I need this information 24 hours, man. You know, everything. We're going to search again. We're going to find out. If they don't have no fucking, one thing I do know for sure is that I sent a letter to the insurance commissioner's office, and Gold Market Property Management, Deer Park, is not allowed to distribute. They're not licensed to distribute, to sell renters insurance. They're not allowed to do that. Excuse me. You need a license to sell insurance. You need a license to sell insurance. You need a license to sell insurance. Point blank. Everybody could just put it under their own car insurance, renters insurance. It's not going to be that much, you know. And that's what I got. I got renters insurance under my auto insurance, you know. And my insurance company says, no, don't give them your information. And this is how I knew that they ran my fucking information too, because my own insurance company called me about that and said, wait a minute, this other company, have you ever heard of these people? I said, no. Well, your social security number is up there on them. Oh, hell no. Hell no. That's when I hit it. This motherfucker, man, you had no right to give up my social security number to nobody. You had no right to even have my social security number because I never gave you my social security number, man. You know? And at that time, I didn't have my ID. I had my passport. So they took a picture of my passport, which was odd. But, excuse me, I've been fucking sick, man. But anyway, no here, there. They some dirty motherfuckers, man. They file false behind retaliation, malicious evictions. Oh, excuse me. And I'm gonna have it transferred to the federal courts because this goes under federal laws. Answers, questions, you know. This goes under federal laws, questions, you know. I'm gonna have this transferred to federal court. I'm not gonna have it in this little hinky town courthouse. File a motion. This judge cannot hear this case because she heard one cases and she was biased. She went in their favor to dismiss it, but gave them 14 days notice to repairs. But you know, and this what got me is that how the fuck you gonna dismiss this after you talk to the attorney without me present? And you're not supposed to. No judge is supposed to talk to the other party's attorneys whatsoever without both parties there. But the judge did. You know, the judge did. The judge talked to him. And he said, well, you know, John, y'all know what I discussed with you earlier. Let's Get rid of this, dismiss it. Oh, yes, okay. They corrupt, man. They fucking corrupt. But I told you people, wake up, man. Wake the fuck up, man. Wake the fuck up. This racist motherfucking criminal in office y'all voted for, he going after everybody. Every fucking body. Everybody. You know? And just bankrupting this country. This country is about to collapse, dude. It's about to collapse. I'm telling you, it's about to collapse. And it's fucking crazy, dude. But this motherfucker's getting away with it. And these justices, man, all on the take. All you gotta do is follow the money, man. Follow the money, man. You know, every black judge or Spanish judge now, his job is on the line. Even in the United States Superior Court. Their asses' jobs are on the line. He's the only one that publicly said, I'm coming after you because not only did you investigate me, but you try to have me impeached. So I'm coming after you, judges. And this is the funny thing. A president doesn't have that much fucking power, dude. A president cannot pass laws, make laws, or anything. I'll give you an example here. One thing I know is about my constitutional rights. A law was challenged to the Constitution. 1803. Marlborough versus Madison, 1803. Natural Archives, okay? And it states right here that neither Congress or the president, that could sign or pass laws against the Constitution. Okay, and it says right here, for the first time, Chief Justice Marshall, the Superior Court, for the first time declared unconstitutional a law passed by Congress and signed by the president is non and void. You cannot go against the Constitution. You cannot rewrite. You cannot remove. You cannot replace. Nothing in the Constitution. The Constitution is the law of the land by the forefathers. We, the people. Congress and presidents do not have the authority or the powers to pass any laws against the Constitution. 1803. The Constitution is the common law of the land. Even these so-called Constitution scholars, they put what they want to put to make this motherfucker look good, man. Everything Trump's doing is against the law. You know, and we don't got no military. So let's get that clear now. This military is for corporations. It's not for they don't believe the Constitution. They don't even go by the Constitution. There's no more militaries out here in this country. You know, when I was growing up, the military meant something. You was proud, you know, and then you find out, well, wait a minute, all the killings that you did in other countries was all for profit. Had nothing to do with the Constitution. Had nothing to do with freedom, your choice or anything. It all was about making money. That's all it was about, making money and profits. That's all that was about. It had nothing to do with no rights, no civil rights, no human rights, no nothing. You know, and it's a shame that we going back and a 6-3 vote. See, when your neighbors are justices and they vote against the Constitution, that's when they're supposed to be moved out. That's when you're supposed to be picketing their houses, their homes and shit. Get them the fuck out of town, man. Get them the fuck out of town. Go to a red state. Get the fuck out of town, man. Get the fuck out of town. It's fucking ridiculous, man. What society has become. It's so fucking insane, dude. I told y'all. Nobody believed me. Told y'all this shit is getting deep now. Peace out. May God be with you all. May God be with you all, man. Because it's about to get worse in this country. It's really about to get worse. So when you can't call it military. Even the fucking federal judge that says, oh, yeah, he got the right to call it military. No, he does not. not by what the Constitution says. You know, not what the fucking Constitution says. And he's bragging how he won. But yet, motherfucker, removing birthrights even include your goddamn self and your fucking kids. You a fucking immigrant. It's so funny, an immigrant, deporting immigrants, a sex predator, trying to make a sex predator law. But y'all about some stupid motherfuckers in this country. Every one of y'all that voted for this motherfucker, man. And these judges, man, that's going against the Constitution. I hope your families drop the fuck dead, man. I hope death on every one of you motherfuckers, man. Because you're violating the Constitution that the forefathers put down when the forefathers themselves were immigrants. The forefathers themselves were immigrants. But they made a law to protect all, not just one race. They knew how corrupt motherfuckers can get. Wake the fuck up, man. Fight for your rights. Fight for your rights, man. Peace out.